It is Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY. So just talked about with Gus a little bit. There is a show that is going to be coming to you in person at the Hoagland Center for the Arts coming up in October, being put on by Spencer Theater Company. And to talk with me about it is Julie Staley. How are you doing, Julie?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, very good. The sun's out today, so that's always a great thing. Great start.
Yes, absolutely it is. So with Spencer Theater Company, you guys put on before the pandemic hit, one of the last shows I saw in person, which was Blythe Spirit, and a very good production. And you guys are coming out with another show that is going to be coming up in October. And that was just announced very recently. So what's coming up from Spencer Theater Company?
Yes, we are very, very, very excited to be bringing theater back, and we just couldn't be happier. It's been a long year for everybody, for the audience, for the performers. It's just been a real struggle and just so heartbreaking around every corner. And we are so excited. We're going to be opening the first week of October with a play called The Audience. And this is the play that inspired the Netflix TV series The Crown, which is about Queen Elizabeth. And it is about the audience, the meetings that she has each week with her prime minister. It's a private meeting that she has with the prime minister. She has had this since she began, so it goes back to Winston Churchill. This play goes back to Winston Churchill, and it goes through all of her prime ministers to I think 2015. I think it goes up to David Cameron is the last one. So it's something, these meetings are private, and even they can't even talk to their spouses about them. They are private meetings. So it is something that the playwright Peter Morgan imagined happened and put together with a lot of research, and it's just very well done. It's a great piece of history. And not just British history, but world history. And of course, if you're a fan of The Crown, or you pay attention to what goes on with the royal family, or with Queen Elizabeth, you certainly will be able to follow everything so well. It's just done so well, the way that he weaves these stories in and out. And not only do we get a glimpse into these meetings that she has with her prime ministers, but there are also pieces in the story where she goes back in time and reminisces about being a young girl. And so we have those scenes in there as well. So we are just so excited to bring this, it's a little more modern show to the stage, something that we haven't done around here. And we are excited to bring something that, involves people that are real life, and people that are some of them still here today. And we have a wonderful, stellar cast that's on tap for it. So we have 12 cast members. So a lot of people joining us, and we're so excited that they decided to take this on with us.
Yeah, that is great, and it looks like a great cast, and seems to be an interesting show for sure. I know I don't think I've watched any of The Crown, but I know a lot of people that do, and so I know this is going to be a very, very very popular and a very exciting show. Have you guys been thinking about doing this one for a while? When did you guys think about wanting to do this show, The Audience?
Yeah, it was something that we're always talking about shows, and we had a whole bunch of other shows we kind of had on our list as well, but this one kind of popped up because of with the popularity of The Crown, and this had been something that came up that was available, because sometimes they're not available for if they're doing it on in certain cities it's not available. So it came up and it was available, and we thought it was very timely, and would be something that people would really want to come and see after being stuck at home for a year,
Mm,
especially if they've been at home binging on The Crown, which I think
yeah.
a lot of people have. So we thought that would be a great fit too. So um, the past year, people have, been kind of, I'd say more people have been watching what's going on outside of the world, maybe in what's happening in Britain or Europe, or what's happening with the royal family. And so this seems like a good time for that. But
Right.
yeah, it's something that we've wanted to do for a little while, but it kind of popped up all of a sudden, and it came right to the top of our list.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, and yeah, like you said, in addition to the crown, there really has been a lot of focus on the royal family and all the events happening overseas, and especially the past couple of years, especially the past year. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something I think people are going to want to watch. The show is in October, and as there's more and more signs that things will be opening up more and more in the coming months, even in the couple weeks. So this show, this is going to be in person. And how are you guys going to be doing that? Are there going to be any extra sort of precautions you guys are going to be taking as well, even if it's fully in person?
This is going to be taking place at the Hoagland Center for the Arts, and we will be abiding, of course, by their direction and regulation. We really don't have a lot of answers in that way, because we don't know what will be in place by October. Assuming that we don't start going backwards for some reason,
Mm,
with more people getting vaccinated, I think that's pretty safe, that we're not going to go backwards. So hoping that, we maybe can move forward a little bit. I think I've seen some things coming out that recently that we may be able to open even more things up soon. So we have to go by what the Hoagland guidelines are. We don't know what those are yet. We don't know how many we'll be able to put in the audience. We don't know if they'll have, socially distanced seating. That would be a question we'd have to ask the Hoagland, and I know they don't know that yet, because we just don't know how things are going to go. Everything's been so
right.
unpredictable. I mean, this
Yeah.
last year, you just have to be flexible and get up every day and say, okay, something new is going to go along today. What is it? So it's just been a tough time for everybody, and a tough time to plan ahead.
Yeah.
And so you have to plan for the best, and hope that's what goes on. That you could follow through with that plan, and be able to pivot. I think that's been
Yeah.
our word all year long. I've heard that
Yep.
word so much the last year, and to pivot. That's all we've been trying to do, is be able to turn as we can. So,
Yeah.
we've definitely talked about it on our Spencer board about, if this happens and if that happens, what are we going to do? But we're just gonna, hope and plan that it'll all move forward. Um, Again, we may not have the full capacity seating, and that's fine. Whatever is safe for everyone is what we want. And we'll just work it out from there. And we hope that as many people that we can get into the theater can come see it.
Cool. That's good. Well, it's going to be exciting to see, and I think it's looking, at least to my view, it's looking a little more optimistic about things opening up. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see in the coming months. I also want to talk a bit about changing gears a little bit here, Anya. You've been following this on Facebook, that you've been doing this series called In Focus, and it's been all over. So if you can just talk a little bit about your series In Focus, what's it about, and what's all going on with it?
Yeah, this is a news magazine program on our local PBS station. So this would be WSEC TV here And then depending on what city you're in central Illinois and southern Illinois, it's of course owned by WSIU, and which is in Carbondale. So it covers all of most of central Illinois. It doesn't go up into the Champaign area, but over to the east to Quincy and Macomb and that area, and then down south into Carbondale and into southern Illinois, and covers I think 5 states and about 5 million households. So it's more of kind of a regional programming, and we certainly are reaching a lot of people with it. It's produced out of SIU, out of Carbondale. So there are teams of reporters down there, and then we have teams of reporters here. I cover arts, entertainment, culture, history, and it goes once a month. We have an episode a month, and it's the last Thursday of the month. And all of our past episodes are streaming, so you can watch all of them if you just go to the WSIU TV website, and you can pull up their programming, and In Focus comes up as one of their programs that you can watch. So they're all available all the time. And each month, we just have different reporters focusing on something different. And I just have been able to go around and tell so many stories about how arts programs and history, museums, historic sites have been impacted by the pandemic, and how they've tried to move forward. A nonprofit, it's been a tough time, and most of them closing their doors at some point, and then realizing that they had to find a creative way to get their doors open, or to be able to reach out to the people that they serve. And it's been it's been really interesting to have people tell their stories, have these organizations tell me the story of how they've been able to stay afloat for the last year. And most of them have done really well. They've not only just reached out to everybody and opened their doors again, but many of them have found new and creative ways to increase enrollment or increase participation in programs, to bring in more dollars than they even expected, and bringing in more people than they expected. So in some way, there's that silver lining of it, that they've been able to do something absolutely new that they didn't even think was possible. So I've enjoyed being able to tell those stories.
That's great. That is wonderful. That is In Focus. And like Julie said, you'll be able to watch any of those on demand at any time. And watch out next couple of months for up to October, because that's when you will be able to watch in person the audience based on Queen Elizabeth, a lot of the things going on over the seas. Thank you, Julie, so much for joining me. And I'm sure we'll be talking again sometime soon.
You are welcome. I'm glad to be on here anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY.